We are live. Hello, everybody. My name is Bahzad.
My name is Risa.
And we are here from Naked and Famous Denim to bring you the greatest live stream in the history of all live streams. The Naked and Famous Denim Raw Denim live stream, broadcasting live from Yokohama, Japan. It is Saturday morning for us and Friday evening for many of you. Let us know where you are tuning in from in the world or the universe or time. I don't know. But we want to know where you're tuning in from. So hit us up in the chat, or if you're watching on the replay, let us know in the comment section below. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I want to know. I want us to hit every country in the world.
Every country in the world.
Every country in the world.
That's a very difficult task, I think.
It might be.
Someday we will do it.
Someday we'll do it. In the comment, I want to be able to click off everyone. And then next week, I would say, hey, we did it. Every country in the world tuned in. And I'll be a happy guy. All right, well, let's check in with the chat. Let's see where everyone now is tuning in from. And let's see what's going on. We got BD, the producer, in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Broken Twill Offshoot Jorts all day. Some killer weather. The guys at Tate talking shorts made me think I should enjoy mine more. Now I've switched to the King of Slub 2. Time to be comfy. I like that the King of Slub 2 is your comfy pair over the jorts. It's the sign of a real raw denim dude. Gabriel Official, been rocking my King of Slub 2 for a while now as well. We've got dual King of Slub 2s in the house. Lionel Figueroa, just happy to be here. Well, we're just happy to see you here as well. Gabriel Fisher is checking in. Hello, hello. Jameson Keating. Hola, hermanos. My Joseph Joestar jeans are fading away. I'm starting to see signature thigh creases. 2 on the left, 1 on the right. Your fades are like your fingerprint. Always the same. No, it's not true.
Always
but they're unique to you. They're definitely unique to you. Name writes, good morning, Japan. Thank you very much. And Solvents, hey, from Scotland. Welcome to the chat. Topher Cobra, I'm trying out my new Broken Twill Slub Stretch today, and there is 0 break-in. They are so light and comfy, they seem like they should be great summer jeans.
That's true.
The Slub Stretch Selvage is the 0 break-in model.
Also, Broken Twill, always softer.
Yeah, that's true. It's a great combo. Broken Twill and Slub Stretch Selvage. Cheddar Buttersworth. It's a left-hand twill sort of day in Vancouver, BC. Right on. Invis Ian's DC is in the house. Good to see you. Name is from Buffalo, New York. Jameson Keating writes, new hair. Looks great, Risa.
Oh, thank you.
If everyone noticed.
Every now and then I need to get a haircut.
Not me. And look who has made it to the chat. The one and only Snowy the Cat.
Okay.
Famous for his snowy selvage jeans. Whoa, don't show your butt on the internet. That's it's not this kind of channel. Okay? All right. Well, there you go, everybody. Snowy is here. Say hello to Snowy as well. Shang Style is in the house. Morning from Sydney. Fading the King of Slub 1 today. Tate and Yoko content has been great lately. And chance of a new left-hand twill in the future, e.g. slubby or heavyweight. We're definitely going to play around with the left-hand twill, as you've seen us do over the past couple of seasons. We do a slubby version of them every now and then with Blue Owl. So if you want us, I don't know if they have any in stock at the moment, but we have done slubby left-hand twill editions with our good friends Blue Owl in Seattle. They're just outside of Seattle. Right. Not Bellevue. Where is it? Let's go on an adventure together, everybody. Because every now and then I just forget, because they've moved a couple times. No, Seattle, Washington. All right. They used to be outside of Seattle, just outside.
Fremont.
Anyhow, 124 Northwest Canal Street, Suite 1, Seattle, Washington, 98107. And I said Canal because that's how you pronounce it. Rice W5, hello from Birmingham, UK, wearing my Bluebird Selvage great jeans. Let's do my own fit check today. I've got the Naked and Famous Denim. This is the rinse slub denim shirt. These are kind of hard to come by these days, but a great shirt. Wonder Looper Ultimate Pima t-shirt. I've got my Dirty Fade selvage here, looking pretty good. It's a little dark in the room today, but maybe you can get a better view of it here. There you go. And just a G-Shock on the wrist. Risa's got a snowy on the lap.
Yeah, so I can't say that, but you know what I'm wearing? I'm wearing Bahzad Strong Guy in the shade. It's just, I've been living in it. It's such a nice, like, loose fit that it gets the air in. It's started to get hot. I just love it. I'm wearing the, what do we call it? Silk blend.
Oh, yeah.
Wrap, some kind of shirt. We did a couple falls ago. It came in like 4 colors.
Right.
I don't remember what the name is, but the texture of this fabric is really, really nice. I don't know if we can see it. It's probably not possible.
Once Snowy gives a little room here. Okay, Snowy, we're gonna put you on my lap here.
Yeah, it's like super nippy and it's just and drapey a little. It's a great texture. Shirt.
Yeah, our slubby. There's another shirt that we do.
Called it silk nip or something like that.
Yeah, sorry, our names sometimes are a little.
It's
hard to remember. There's been a lot of shirts over the years. That's for sure.
Cotton silk blend twill.
Right. But anything we do in these like lighter summery fabrics, they tend to wash down and get like really kind of slubby and textured over time. There's a linen shirt that we have, the luxury French linen shirt that's available right now. And if you've ever tried our double weave gauze shirts, those haven't been around in a while, but we are going to be bringing them back for next spring summer season. So that's already in the works for spring summer 25. If you've had one or if you've been able to get one before, a great shirt to own. Okay, Canadian Penny. Hello everyone, checking in from beautiful Vancouver Island today, wearing my Craftsman selvage. I was not prepared for how full character this denim is, or how full of character that this denim is. A very, very beautiful denim, that Craftsman selvage. I would imagine most people who got it feel the same way. Sometimes it's not, it's you can't always capture the essence of the denim in the videos and the content that we create, and I we try our best, but in real life they always look even better. So if you like what you see, you will be impressed when you get them in hands. Patrick Sanchez, what's up, everyone? Tuning in from work. Gold mining.
Gold mining?
Amazing. Northern Ontario, and wearing my Naked and Famous X Blue All Left Hand 12 Midnight Edition 13.75 ounce selvage has been going strong since December 31st for the Invitational.
Nice.
Glad to hear it.
But gold mining?
Yeah.
Is that still a thing?
Of course. How do you think we get the gold?
I don't know. Recycling like electronics.
Well, that's happening for sure, but you still got to get the gold. And
wow, that's great.
Patrick said,
I kind of like figured that happened in like the parts that are of the world that were not, gold mining from like 1800s.
No, there's still lots of gold in them there hills.
We'll still have them.
Yeah.
Left, huh?
Yeah, there's and with newer technologies, we've got better ways of sniffing it out. But I'm sure Patrick Sanchez could tell us all about it. But I think most importantly is that the jeans that were invented for gold mining are being put to use still today for the gold mining, and to have that gene participate in the Indigo Invitational, that's an authentic fade if I've ever heard of one. Last week on This Week at Tate Yoko, Vincent threw out the jab at Garrett, being like, Garrett, you're climbing in your jeans. That's cheating. And I'm like, it's not cheating. It's not cheating. And there was some amount of conversation about that in the comments section. And we had a fan write, well, if climbing in your jeans, so is working in your jeans. And
it's just
I just
part of your life.
Yeah, right. So long as it's part of your life. And Indigo Invitational, a raw denim fading contest with someone gold mining in their jeans. That's an authentic fade for sure. I hope you win. That I have no say in who wins. We do sponsor the event, but I have no.
Yeah, I mean, if
have
they
no input.
consider like that factor, it's just like these fades are from gold mining. I think they would love that.
Absolutely.
But, no, I don't know.
We had a friend visiting. Oh, I don't want to get the drama of the Indigo Invitational. I'll say this. Look, I love the fading contest, and I love that it exists. I guess last week we talked about we did touch on we certainly talked about it. Faking your fades, faking your fades for a fade contest. And we had a friend visiting us last week, and we were hanging out. And I would say that in these contests, because it's an honor system, we all accept that these fades are real. But in our heart of hearts, sometimes some fades look a little too real for TV. A little manufactured, right? And he's like, I live in one of the warmest climates in North America, similar temperature, and I don't get fades like that. And I wear my jeans to working with my hands. So, anyway, again, I'm gonna accept that all the fades are real, but I'm also gonna accept that some of the fades are real. They're very real.
Yeah.
And anyway, we had a good conversation about it, but yeah, I would say that it does distract. It does take away from the contest when you are being less than truthful in these kinds of things. Kenny Ingram writes 80 grit fades. Yeah, that's it. I think that's a good way to explain it. And yeah, some people's opinion is, well, you're climbing in your jeans. That's not who does that? I'm like, well, you do. If you climb, you're a hobbyist. And you climb in your jeans. That's what you do. But again, if you're taking sandpaper to your jeans versus I actually work in my jeans, those are different things. And
and climbing is the aim is to climb.
Yeah.
The sandpaper in your jeans, there's no other aim other than to progress your face. It's different things. I feel.
Yeah, it's it might be difficult on paper to explain
Yes, but you know.
Yeah, when you see
when
it.
You're cheating. It's in your heart.
So
trust your
anyhow,
gut.
that's not anybody here, that's for sure. But I hope that. Anyways, I don't think it's going to distract too many real people from joining these contests. These contests are only growing. In fact, there was a post that the Indigo Invitational people did about the percentage of brands participating in the contest, and Naked Famous Denim was I guess there was a crud ton of brands participating. Naked Famous Denim was number two in the contest at a big chunk. Us and another brand were, I think we took the majority, the big majority, and then everyone else, there was a lot of little representation, but good to see a lot of Naked and Famous Denim being represented in the Indigo Invitational. I think part of the Selvage Foundation. If you guys remember that, still alive and well, participating. So let's hope we take some top marks, and maybe we'll have a real gold miner at the top. I hope so, because those are gonna be the most real fades ever. That's what I'm going with. Chris Griffin, I taught climbing at summer camp 16 years ago. I wore jeans. I didn't know of much else that existed. See?
Right.
There you go. Kenny Ingram, not sure why anyone would do that. I'm to the point where I have countless pairs of jeans and I'd still never intentionally ruin a pair. Right. intentionally ruining a pair, if you're intentionally, we're all intentionally fading our jeans, but we're not all intentionally fading our jeans. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Mike in WPB writes, are you guys going to do a Naked Famous Spotify playlist as well?
The Tate Yoko guys should do that.
Well, they got it. There's the Tate and Yoko playlist, which is...
the Naked and Famous version of it. Yeah.
I should... Yeah, I guess I could put a little playlist together. Maybe someone can host it. We could put it there. Jovan, Jovonchy. He's our resident DJ. He's works in our warehouse by day, and he's a professional DJ by night. And he's hosting the Tate and Yoko playlist, and it is just a mashup of everybody's favorite songs from the community. Throw your suggestions into the pot, and they will they'll sift through them and put the playlist together. So a very unfiltered, well, semi-filtered playlist. But I do remember at one point I was putting together a playlist of denim-related songs. I've got a list, but anyway, I'll get Jovan to put it up, and you guys can all follow him, and we'll get some denim-related tunes pumping in your ear holes. Stephen Copelcam writes, any chance of a wool flannel lined denim jacket in the future? Wool flannel lined. We've done some like blanket lined denim jackets, and they're not wool. There's usually like a cotton poly blend.
Yeah. Sometimes there's wool in it, like
wool, right.
acrylic, like nappy ones.
Yeah.
They throw in the wool.
Right. But they're rarely, like back in the day, they weren't 100% wool. They were like acrylic wool, cotton, poly. Like they were always a mix.
What happened to our line denim jacket? That one was.
I think we still have some in stock. Hold on. Let's check the internet.
Mostly cotton flannel, but I think there were some acrylic in it at least.
Yeah. Hold on. We will. Oh, there's one on sale. Hold on. Just gonna take a second to pull it up here, guys, and then I'll show you. We show you. Who's gonna show you? We gonna show you. Boom. Okay, so there's this guy, the left-hand twill lined denim jacket. Ooh, all sizes, and $286. That's a good deal. And it's got this great. Hopefully they show it in the picture. There we go. Sometimes we don't take all the right photos, but you've got this great classic blanket-lined interior. Interior cotton acrylic polyester lining. Yeah. So that's how you get it to be all like neppy and blankety like that. And that is how the jackets were made back in the day. So sometimes people think synthetic materials weren't around, that they're like more modern innovations, but no, they've been around for a long time. So yeah, that's how things used to be. We also had we did have a black version. Maybe it's sold out. Oh, here it is. A little less stock, but you've got the same blend, but with this gray stripe interior on the inside. So maybe at this point in the year, it's a little out of season. You know, it's getting a little hot out there. You might not get the most wear out of this right now, but if you want to hold on to that for the fall, a great jacket that you can certainly wear for many years to come.
Australia or New Zealand.
That's it. If you are in wintertime right now, then jump on that one. All right. Invis Ian's about the Selvage Foundation. For life. It's true. For life. Two things that were for life. The NWO and the Selvage Foundation. There's no escape. You're once you're in, you're in. Okay. Christian B, will the MIJ 10/Okayama Spirit fabric be making a return soon?
Yes. They have just finished production. They're getting on the boat this coming week, I think.
Okay. So soon is going to be soon. we'll keep you posted.
It's a
Probably.
boat, so it's gonna take a while to get to the other side of the world, and then from there we gotta do all kinds of things. But I would say maybe by fall.
Okay, perfect timing. When you're definitely gonna want them, and so they're on a boat. They're on a boat.
It's May now, end of May. So yeah, by the end of summer we'll have it.
I was trying to go into that T-Pain song. I'm on a boat. Remember that one with Lonely Island? Good. The good. What are they up to these days?
I have no clue.
Lonely Island people, if you're in the chat, let us know. We'd love to know what you've been up to. Okay. Julian writes, let's get a fit check. We did do a fit check. But also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Well, there you go. There is your cue, everybody. Like and subscribe if you haven't liked and subscribed yet. Hit both of those buttons right now. Okay. Brian, right, picked up a pair of the Ocean's Edge James Dant in store here in Indianapolis, and I'm really loving them. Very soft and almost stretchy. Have worn them almost every day since. Fantastic shop too. Yes, the good people at James Dant. Tommy Dant runs that wonderful shop. They got a great selection of Naked Famous Denim products, and I'm glad that you are enjoying the Ocean's Edge. This is the time of year where I'm packing up samples, and I was packing that one up, and I had it in my hands, and I'm like, do I keep this one? Do I keep this one? I did end up packing it up, but I was very tempted to keep that. The thing about me is that there's a lot of jeans that I own, and I can't own them all. It's not, this isn't Pokemon. And if I don't own them, that means they go back on the shelf and somebody else might be able to own them. So I was thinking of you guys out there who might get to wear them instead of me, who might just end up hoarding them, eventually wearing them. But yeah, I'm trying to limit myself in that respect. Even in general, my area of the closet is overflowing. It is there's like 5 or 6 stacks of t-shirts, but are like at least 50, 60 high, and they are just, there's no more room. There's no more room for flannel. There's like, a ton of flannel shirts. I've been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
And the stuff just piles up, and I'm like, okay, take it easy.
Well, yeah, we just have to kind of, we'll also put it in, especially you, I feel, like you put it in the pile and you never, ever take anything out. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's not in your daily routine or anything like that. Not that, I mean, like your daily drivers are limited at a time, but I feel like you don't touch that pile.
Yeah,
you don't go in like, oh, maybe I should wear this today.
No,
it doesn't happen.
There's I should have a separate closet for the things that I wear, that I actually wear, and then it's just the other stuff where it's like,
this is a museum piece.
And it's not even the collection part, because the collection stuff is all in like bins organized, right? And like the collection stuff is for like I'm never gonna wear this. This is just I liked a detail about it, and this is personal collection. Then there's like clothes that are like, oh, these are great, I like these, I enjoy these. Oh, like the thing is, my if you have like 20, 30, 40, 50 flannel shirts, I'm not going out every day. I might wear the same one over and over for a while. That's just how I am. And
and then after, I think that's fine, because you just get excited about something and you wear it for a while, and then you just maybe next year it won't come back into rotation. Right. But you've loved it and you're keeping it. Someday maybe you'll wear it.
Yeah.
I think that's how it is.
Joy Decay writes, Bahzad's walls are going to collapse. I'm actually scared that the walls in our closet will... There's where we have all the jackets. The jacket part scares me, because jackets are heavy, and there's a lot of jackets. Yeah. And I like, we barely... Especially because we have got a lot of winter... There's a lot of winter jackets. denim jackets, I'm like, I don't leave the house that often.
I think I find like my winter jackets, I wear almost all of them.
Oh.
Different occasions, different kind of styles. But like mid-season jackets, like that we own.
Yeah.
You know, like denim jackets, gajans, like those kind of things. Yeah. Because there are so limited days that you can wear those, like we don't get around to wearing them all. That's kind of sad.
Right. So, that being said, for those out here in the chat who, you know, I see a few familiar faces. Take it easy with the purchases sometime. Make sure that you enjoy it. Like, I'm a different beast, okay? And, you know, when you've done this for a long time, you accumulate a lot of stuff. That's one thing. But, you know, if you're the conscious consumer, buy the things, wear the things, enjoy the things. But piling it up, at some point it becomes, you know, you don't own the collection owns you. And you're just managing stuff. What am I going to keep this? What am I going to do with this? Oh, this is too good. Oh, I really like this. Oh, I can't wear it anymore. It's too small, but I really like it. I don't know. One day, closet tour, maybe one day. Maybe one day. It's a lot. I think we could I can make like a 4-hour live stream on just t-shirts. There's a lot of t-shirts. And this isn't, like, I have t-shirts in Montreal, I have t-shirts at my mom's house. There's a lot. I own a lot of t-shirts. I own a lot of things. But anyhow. Let me know your thoughts, everybody. Kenny Ingram. So what if it's just on the pile? At least you know it's there. That's true.
I think though, in your case, because you don't go into those piles at all, like there are things that you don't remember you own. I'm sure
it definitely happens. I think there's a couple of pairs of Super Guy in the pile of jeans. Like, not too long ago, I was actually going through it, and there's a couple of pairs of Super Guys. Like, I think there's a cashmere pair and black cashmere Super Guy, and size 30. And I'm just like, there's no chance in hell that I'm ever going to be able to fit that ever again in my life.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
unless you get sick or something.
Yes, well, you know, at least if I get sick, I'll have a nice, comfortable pair of skinny jeans to wear.
Luxurious pair.
So that's my, if I ever get sick, pair. Good thinking. You know, you got to prepare for all occasions.
You got to be positive about all aspects of life.
Look at all these clothes that used to fit me 16 years ago. Now I can enjoy them again. Yeah. There you go. Pedro, who's Bahzad going to leave his collection to? The birds. Risa. I don't...
Who else are you going to leave that to?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
That's assuming I outlive you.
We're going to die at exactly the same time. I figure once I die, the shock of it will cause you to...
Which is true. Yeah. Which is like it happens often.
Mm-hmm. So I could leave it to Risa, but I know it won't be that long. So we'll will it to the denim world. You know, just make a charitable donation in our name to some fund, and you can get an item. This is not legally binding, by the way. This is not my will.
You should make it legally binding. You should notarize it.
James and Keating, what jeans are you going to be buried in? I want to be mummified in like a slubby denim, like a heavier weight one. Just mummify me, and I'd be pretty happy with that. Yeah, I'm comfortable with a mummification. Just wrap me up. I don't need, or shoot me. Do I want to go into space? Put me in a cannon, fire me out of it.
Well, you know where I'm going. So if you want to come with me, you can take that route too.
Yeah.
Ocean.
Risa's gonna get an ocean burial.
No. I would be
cremated.
Cremated first. And then
in which jeans will you be cremated in?
I don't know. Can you
Yeah.
I can see you going.
It all burns. Yeah, they take care of it all.
Those buttons are gonna like, after cremation you put like all the things.
Yeah. You have some like little metal buttons.
Naked and Famous.
Yeah. So anyhow, I don't know.
That's a thought. We gotta think about it. We have some years left.
I hope
think.
so. When I'm dead, I don't care. I'm dead. It's
But it's nice to have a plan for the people who are left, so that they're like, oh, what would have made it like?
I think Risa and I are gonna be the last 2 humans on the planet.
Possible.
That's it. That's what I'm aiming for. I'm really aiming to never die. That's the goal. I've never died yet, so I don't think I can even die. So I'm gonna go the distance. I'm going all the way. Last man standing. Last woman standing. That's it. So we'll see.
I think we have to start taking care of ourselves.
I'm taking great care of myself. But that's it. Canadian Penny writes, was that just a Vince McMahon reference? I think if you know me, then you know. Andrew Furusawa, Ocean Salvage, LOL. The Ocean's Edge.
Ocean's Edge.
Boom.
Yeah.
Or deep sea salvage. So there's some more sea themed related products coming soon. The other day we were having a company meeting, and we're just talking about sort of the naming structure of rinse washed fabrics, and I'm like, okay, so basically anything sea or water themed going forward is going to be rinse washed related products. So we had the Ocean's Edge, which is a fabric rinse denim. We've got a jean called the Blue Wave Selvage coming out. That'll probably be the first release of the fall, the Blue Wave Selvage, so like a classic dark indigo with a rinse wash, similar to like the selvage, that kind of idea. Then we have another one called the Deep Sea, which is like an indigo by navy. That's going to be coming out in the fall as well. And I'm like, so just that's kind of where we're headed with that. And for a while there was a lot of products I was naming with bird theme. Yeah,
like a lighter weight denim. What would you use the name?
Always a bird, some kind of bird. And I'm like, oh man. And I promised to retire that, but I'm like, what if we did like a lightweight rinse wash denim, and it'll be like the
what do we call it? Like
the seabird selvage, or like a seagull selvage. Seagull selvage. Yeah, I called. So there we go in the chat. Brain seagull. That's it. So yeah, the seagull selvage. At some point, there's gonna be a seagull selvage.
Like, seagull sounds a little heavier than lightweight birds. Like bluebirds.
Yeah, I guess, or like a small bird, but it's still a seagull is a bird, and birds are lighter than air because they can fly. Yeah. I think that's how that works. And so
they also live
by the sea.
So they have a little bit of both.
That's it. Andrew Furusawa, an osprey. Yeah.
Is an osprey a bird?
Yeah.
I don't know. I only know osprey from helicopter.
Yeah, that's why they call it that. Osprey is a bird. And there's also...
I see.
This guy.
Yeah.
That's a good name, because this is like a... Hold on a second.
It's a cool, like...
It's a cool bird. Yeah.
It's like an eagle.
Yeah. It's a tough guy bird. A man's bird. So, yeah. And that's what one of those are. And then there's also Will Ospreay, who is just a fantastic professional wrestler. So go check out Will Ospreay, because he can maneuver like a bird.
I see.
Yeah. So shout outs to Will Ospreay. Back to the chat. Flying fish selvage. Pelican. Yeah, those are
nice.
Yeah.
Pelican seems.
They're a little big.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyhow, you guys know what what's going on there. Shang style. Are you sure you want to do a seagull selvage? Isn't that some other brand's trademark symbol?
Seagull?
I mean, they call it the gulls, but I don't think it's a trademark thing. Yeah.
God.
The little thing on the
I
back
see,
pocket, they call it gulls when it's
right.
actually just the Levi's, let's be real. And even, like, you want to talk about trademarks? Just put an L in front of that brand name and see what brand you come up with. So I don't think they're in the business of trademark, thingy-mabobbers. So there you go. Christopher Cologne writes, super stoked to receive my MIJ 12s today.
Nice.
Good man. I saw some MIJ 12s being delivered on. I saw on the Reddits some people getting their jeans, putting up their fit pictures. So glad to see that. There was something that I wanted to talk about today. Oh yeah, this happened this week, and a little unfortunate incidento. There was a customer who emailed us regarding a pair of MIJs that they purchased, and I have to say that this is like never happened. Nobody's ever sent us an email like we've had this email asked before, but nobody's ever had it happen to them. So, every now and then somebody's like, oh, I see these jeans on Poshmark, or I see these jeans on eBay. Are they real? Are they real? I'm like, look, we don't do authenticity checks. That's not our job, but
yeah, we have
fakes,
latest jeans.
Yeah. Fakes are very few and far between. Very,
and sometimes we have sample pair or whatever with handwritten tag or things that doesn't exist in our official archive.
Yeah.
Because it never got made, that gets sold
Sure.
to somebody or whatever. So
we used to do mystery jeans back in the day. So there's a lot of
most of the time it is real.
Yeah, except for this one time where it wasn't real, and it turned out that somebody had bought a pair of MIJs, and a long time ago, I feel like somebody sent me, again, Southeast Asia. They, they like exaggerated fades sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes. But sometimes they like to exaggerate on brands. So I did see somebody in Southeast Asia on a forum on Facebook of one of these posts, and they had some fake MIJs, but they were really bad. I mean, they did not contain. Look, they emulated our leather patch. They took our graphic from online and made a leather patch from it. It didn't look good. It looked poorly made.
No, but it's seems like it's a lot of work, right? You didn't just make one pair. I feel with that.
They didn't. They made a couple. Even on the forum post, I saw they had half a dozen jeans, right? Somebody, but it was all yeah, okay, you got a leather patch made, okay, fine. And then they had some embroidery done on the back pocket, the little leaf. Again, not the right shape and looked off. The pocket flasher looked like, you took our pocket flasher and photocopied it and, so
It's shitty, but it wasn't for, I don't know. I think it was
okay, it was
so
more
obvious.
effort. It was more effort than, writing Naked and Famous Denim, right? They tried to fake it, but it's like looking at a body kit for a Ferrari versus a Ferrari. It's if you know what a Ferrari looks like, that ain't a Ferrari.
Right.
But if you have no idea what a Ferrari looks like, then maybe that is a convincing Ferrari for you. But the point was, no raised belt loops. The buttons were shiny. No. They didn't have the inside back pocket rivets, the hidden rivets. Not a micro busted selvage up. There was a lot. There was a lot that was just clearly this is somebody took a. This is Southeast Asia. They make selvage jeans for cheap, and they took a couple of details that happened to be on the MIJs. They put them on, and they tried to pass them off as MIJs. Right? They've done it for our brand. They've done it for. They'll probably take that same jean, put other hardware, that fake hardware that they made for some other brand, and sell it as that brand as well. Look, let's be real. Also, these are some of these countries they're not as they don't have the same economy that some of us come from, and where there's a want, somebody's gonna fill that want. And so you want MIJs, can't afford the MIJs, somebody's gonna say, hey, we're gonna put a maple leaf on the back pocket. It happens. This is not something that is a mega problem for us. It happened literally one time. Somebody sent an email saying, hey, are these jeans real? And I'm like, for the first time ever, I had to be like, nah, dog, those ain't real. And, hopefully you can get some recourse on this. But these things...
That might be hard. But it is like, I feel bad for this customer, but, it's kind of like a flattering thing too. Like they made all this, like, thinking they can sell this. It's kind of it's I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, there was a saying back in the day, you haven't made it until, you're on Canal Street in New York. Right. You made it when there's somebody on Canal selling some fakes of your stuff. And, I understand that. I get that. But, I think in our world, we're not selling a logo. I think for most people, we have a fun logo and things like that, but I don't think that's the selling feature of our products. The regular Naked Famous Denim, there's no embroidery, there's no distinguishing details that you can show off. Oh, I'm wearing these fancy jeans. Those details are for you, right? Yeah. We made a high quality product for a discerning customer, right? Customer who understands.
I think that's why there was like this fake in particular was MIJ, because MIJ is a little bit more like, there's branding, there's a little bit of more obviousness to it.
Yeah, perhaps, but Anyhow, that was an unfortunate incident that happened, but you do have to know what you're looking for. Yeah. And when you're buying anything online, you got to be a little wary. And I even for me, like if I'm buying, something on Amazon.com, I look at who's the seller? Who am I buying this flash drive from? Yeah. Is it from like XYZ Tech Industries 95, or is it from SanDisk? Is it from Samsung? Am I buying it from the brand? Am I buying it directly from Amazon? And even then, the world has gotten so crazy. I would say more in the tech world than anything else. But
but I mean, even this customer might have seen the picture of the real MIJ and then bought it and then received something wrong that's
totally possible.
He must have thought, wait, this isn't how it should look when he received it, and that's why he reached out to us, right? So, it's hard. It's hard to like maybe you knew what you were looking for.
Yeah, that's fine. Then, right, somebody did the old switcheroo on you. Yeah,
so it's hard. I think the only maybe takeaway is that buy from trusted retailers, or if you're buying from individuals, like maybe just
really know what you're looking for.
Yeah, or just ask for proof of certain things like, hey, I'm just buying this sight unseen, so can you send me more pictures, or can you whatever.
If it looks fishy,
ask for a picture of the inside label or something like that.
That said, only one email ever in the history of Naked and Famous has it occurred where when the authenticity email came through, that there was actually a fake one.
Right.
Like the boys, like the customer service guys, they sent me an email and they're like, what do I do? And this has never happened. There's a typical response that we do.
Yeah.
We don't authenticity check, but there really are no fake. And I would say even that is an answer that is still valid today. There really are no fakes.
Yeah.
There are, but they're this many, and they don't hit the Western market. Like if you go to the fake market in Thailand, you might find some random, and I would say that even there like you'll buy the same jean. It'll be the same jean, and it'll have one brand's tag, our tag, some other brand. Like it's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, people who buy that, they want to buy that.
Yeah,
like,
they're just buying a tag, right?
Yeah, so that's fine. If you want to buy fakes, and there's nothing we can do about that, you buy fakes. It's, you know, they're not gonna come.
The fashion police aren't gonna come and get you, but
do whatever you want. But yeah, if you don't want that, then yeah, like we do have a list of retailers that we work with, and you know, you can just kind of go from there, or I don't know. There's ways to go around it. I think, to be fair, it's like most of the time, if you get scammed online or whatever, like most of the time they don't reach out to people. They'll be like, oh, you know, this happened to me. There's nothing I can do. I'm not gonna report it to the brand. You know, I'm sure that happens.
Yeah. Right.
So,
but again, in our case. Yeah, I would say that maybe the guy got the jeans. Maybe he did get the old switcheroo. Maybe somebody posted real photos, got the wrong thing.
That's what I think happened, because otherwise, like, if he sold the actual jeans that was going to be shipped, and he received that, then he wouldn't really have, like, second guessed it. It was like, okay, this is...
Yeah, if you saw the pictures of the jeans, like, they were very fake. And anyhow, but you know, who knows? Maybe this person just isn't that familiar with our brand. Maybe they thought they were getting a good deal. I don't know. I don't know how this person even obtained them. If you bought them on like some Facebook forum and it was like, "Hey, cheap jeans from Indonesia,"
or
I'm gonna say that if that's how it happened. That's what was gonna happen.
Yeah, so the price also is a consideration. If it's sketchily cheap, then you have to be wary of that for sure. Yeah. But also maybe like this person was sold from like a Western person who was scammed also. You know, like you never know where it actually started.
Yeah, the scam might, you know, somebody bought it and then they're like, okay, I'm gonna unload these. Yeah, who knows? Yeah. But anyhow, by and large, everything's real. eBay, this and that. If you're a fan of the brand, you could probably tell if something is not real or not. You know, a lot of times the question is, like when they bought some like random sample or something, they're like, "Can you tell me more about this jean?"
Right.
And like that's more common than like, "Is this fake?" Like. Yeah, every now and then you get the fake because, like, the tag's missing or like the text on the tag's faded away or whatever, and they're like, "What are these jeans? Are these real?" I'm like, "Yeah." Or they get some really old Naked and Famous pair that have like unbranded buttons on them.
That is a sketchy thing for sure.
Sometimes there's hardware, like early Naked and Famous Denim days when the hardware changed a little bit, and there was a time where like. The rivets didn't have any text on them. Then there was times where like the buttons didn't have text on them. So there's a couple of those era jeans. But,
and also like the woven label inside is different from what we use now. Like there's all kinds of things.
Right. But yeah. Anyhow, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. Justin Piercy writes, but I mean, he could have figured out that they. By asking Justin Percy writes, but I mean, he could have figured that out by asking the Raw Denim subreddit as opposed to emailing you guys too, lol. Yeah, that's true. Not everybody's on Reddit, and not everybody, you know, sometimes I hate sometimes people go to Reddit too fast, you know. In this case, you know, he could have asked it, he could have asked it. That doesn't bother me. The ones that annoy me, the Reddit ones, and this happened a couple of weeks ago, and it really kind of pissed me off. Okay, rant time, Bahzad. So, somebody wrote something on Reddit. I hate that. Sometimes people go nuts. Something happens to them, and then... Whatever the thing is, you know, they maybe nuts is too far, but whatever. I'm gonna amalgamate a couple of different instances into one, so it's not you. I'm not talking about you. I bet you think this song is about you, but it ain't. So, something happens. They get their jeans. They're not happy with them for whatever reason. Okay? And then freak out mode hits. They realized in their brain something clicked that they just got screwed. We screwed them, right? And so now you get the email, then you get the DM. You don't just get the DM on Naked and Famous, you get it on Tate and Yoko, you get it on Branded, you get it to Garrett, you get it to me, you get it to Risa, you get it to Brandon, you get it. They've just messaged all of us the same message. Oh, yada yada yada. Okay, and I'm like, bro, like, you sent us an email. Why are you like? Did you expect an instant answer? Like, it's 6 p.m. or like not even. It's like Saturday morning. We have office hours. We'll get to you.
We have office hours, and we also have a volume of emails to get to. It's not. Yeah.
It's
instant.
not. It's not okay.
Don't take it personally. Yeah. We don't instantly reply back.
So we get all the DMs. We get your emails. Why haven't you answered me yet? Whatever. You just screwed me. You're very angry. Okay. You go to Reddit, and then on Reddit, you tell your version of the story. I took my measurements, they sent me these jeans, they weren't the right size, and I sent them an email, and they don't even respond. I sent them 12 messages. I'm like, yeah, you did send us 12 messages, and they haven't responded to me yet. I'm like, this is all true, except for the measurement part. Oh, they changed the measurement guide on me. They changed, this kind of stuff. So, okay, you did your Reddit post. You told everybody how awful and terrible Tate and Yoko is, how we screwed you. We, you took some measurements, and then we changed the guide, and just to cover it up, like all this stuff. And then in the email, we say, oh, the measurements are off. Okay, here's send us pictures of your measurements, and clearly you're measuring them wrong. You're not doing it the way that we're doing it. And we say blah blah blah, and then we're like, okay, but you know what? We're gonna help you anyways. Because we're nice people and we want you to enjoy the jeans. Let's handle this exchange for you. No big deal. Oh great, you guys are so nice. Thank you so much. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah. Okay, thanks for that return message. Do you mind maybe fixing your Reddit post where you blamed us for wrecking your life and ruining, your jean wearing experience for the rest of history, and that we're the worst company in the world to deal with because we don't answer your messages, when in fact we answered you at like 9:06 a.m. on Monday on like a normal response time? Mm-hmm. Do you mind fixing that post, maybe updating it and saying that maybe you were a little bit off on what you wrote about us? And then I'm never gonna see that post come up, and so to me that is just, it drives me nuts.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of like Google reviews and stuff like that too, like back in the days, the Yelp reviews were full of angry people who just jumped the gun and, just freaked out. And I get it. It's, sometimes it boils inside of your head and you're just like, you have to do something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, the right thing to do, if you're happy with, the outcome, then you go back and say, sorry, this happened.
And don't just delete the comment, because people already read the comment.
Yeah.
People already chimed in on it. People said, whether they read it, they responded to it, whatever it is, that information, you put it out into the world. You put very wrong, slanderous material out into the world. It deserves not a deletion, but a correction. Mm-hmm. And strike through, write a correction, write a post. You need to make things right.
And I feel it's not just like for us, but I think it would help the community. Like your comment, like people who've never had any experience with us would take that as, look, this person had an experience with us, and this is the way they handle it. Like they take it as a fact because to a degree it was a fact, but like it's just I think you just have to, if you're part of this community, then you have to contribute the correct information so that everybody can be aware of what's going on.
Andrew Furusawa, I know maybe it's unprofessional, but can't you respond to the post, especially on Reddit? Look, I don't want to... I'm happy to... When I tell these stories here, it's a general amalgamation. There's a lot of problems into one. And I don't want to roast... I don't want to roast one person, right? If I go on to the forum and I'm like, actually, you're a liar, here's all... And there's also, I would say that there's a little bit of a privacy thing in there as well, where it's like, actually, on this day, you wrote this, and then you did this, and blah, blah, blah. Like, it seems a little petty in that, but it also, I don't want to roast this person. I do want to help this person. If this, like, I want to preserve the customer. I want them to be happy with the purchase that they made. There's when it's our fault, we admit to our problems. We take care of it. But a lot of times people feel the need to create a problem in order to avoid the dreaded, I got to pay, a couple bucks to return this item, right?
Yeah.
And they have to create this thing in their head that they didn't make a mistake. They didn't follow the measurement guide. They didn't even bother with the measurement guide. They, whatever it is, right? And so it must be that we're plotting against them in some way to ensure that, I didn't know that if I bought 3 jeans I couldn't return 2 of them. Where does it say that on the website? I'm like, well, it doesn't say those words specifically, but the first thing says that we don't do refunds. Mm-hmm. We do store credit only. That's the first line.
Yeah.
And if you didn't read the first line of the store policy of somewhere where you're shopping, what do you want? Do you want, like, in NBA Jam, the Boom Shakalaka guy to come up? Or, like, Mortal Kombat, the Toasty guy to pop up every time you make a purchase? Say, hey, here's our entire store policy. I'm going to tell you to right now, real quick. Like, it's not going to happen, okay?
It's on you. Yeah.
You're spending money. It's on you to figure out who you're spending your money with. We put our policy. It's the first line, right? Sale items.
To make everything clear,
yeah.
And like I know that it's asking a lot. Like you have to read the whole thing, but if you don't want to, if you want to cover your thing, it's not like we have, we're like this insurance company who tried to like, sneak this exception into like super fine prints. Like we're not doing that. We actually bold the letters and make sure But
and they're like, you charge for return shipping. I'm like, we don't charge you for return shipping.
Like we don't make money off of you on the return.
You can return it. Look, returns are free. If you live in Florida and you want to return your jeans, you can drive up to Montreal and bring it to the store, and there's no fee. Mm-hmm. But what you're asking is for somebody to take that thing and deliver it to Montreal. And that costs money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then we offer you a good rate. That's why we ask you to buy the shipping label. So not only do you get a better rate than you would if you were to bring it to the post office or whatever, and also you don't screw up like the paperwork because, let's be honest, a lot of the returns are coming from the U.S. across the border. So like if you do something wrong on the paperwork, that gets sometimes, not past the customs because you have to do those things specifically, and if you don't do that, it's a like annoying part. We are taking that like on without any profit in that. We help you, and we subsidize
Yeah.
the shipping also.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, I'm not saying like we need to be thanked for, but it's just like that's the reason why you do it. If you wanted to ship on your own, if you have like the shipping experience and you know how exactly what's going to happen and what to do, then you can technically ship it on your own. It's just I don't see a point of you doing that, but we don't stop you from doing that at all.
So sometimes people will they freak out. How dare you charge me for returns? I'm like, I'm not charging you.
Yeah. It is, to be fair, I do think that it's not the best way for you to have to, put up a credit card information again to return it. If we have, we've been working on it for a while, but like if we have a system where we could take it out of the credit easier, then we would do that. It's just, little limitation.
Right. So there's little, right. But look, we're a small, we're not the Gap, okay?
Yes.
We're we're like, I know we're big. Huge, ginormous.
Yeah, that's
the biggest. We're the biggest live stream on the internet. Again, this community, you guys get it, but outwardly, people might see us as, oh, this is a big brand, so I'm expecting the big company experience. Well, you get most of it, but some of it is very manual work for us. But yeah. I do find that people, that's just my opinion, I suppose, that the reason why you get some of this very accusatory tone is because people want to skirt out of their own kind of responsibility in the sale, and make us have to, cover the charge, I guess, of that. And so...
Like, just to circle back real quick to, like, the point of, like, why we wouldn't respond on Reddit publicly to, address some of these issues is because, like, we should be judged on how we deal with customer service because that's part of it. That's our job to deal with these issues properly and, make sure that customers are happy. That we should be judged on that. So like that kind of comment has if it's actually true or if it's not like a freak out moment, then it is legitimate. If it's true, then it's legitimate criticism, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah,
I think for us, like, it's not customers' job to be a proper customer. So like I don't think we should put a criticism of the customer's behavior back onto the public, public forum. I don't think that's proper. I don't think we should do that at all. If it's, obviously we need to talk to them, make them, understand where we're coming from and what's the issue, but that needs to be done privately, I feel.
Yeah. So, I don't think that I've ever had to publicly comment on customers' behavior on Reddit before. It's possible I did. I have made a lot of posts, but I genuinely try to avoid that kind of stuff. If I do, usually it's like there's some kind of customer service issue or product issue. I'll just respond, send us an email,
right?
And then we'll take care of it in the email, right? But it does bug me when it's not our fault.
Right.
We go above and beyond and it's not because you wrote to us 16 times, by the way. It's because that's what we do. Yeah. We always try to make it work out for everybody, right? I don't want people to be sour with a pair of jeans that they bought from us. I talk to our guys, they work in customer service, and if a customer buys a pair of jeans from us and they're just, that's that dreaded, it always happens. Jeans, whatever it is, whatever hobby you're in, there's always something you buy at one point, and then you're just like, man, I shouldn't have bought that. And it's just this little pin in the side of you where you're looking at it and you're like, I don't like. I spent a lot of money on that. I don't like it. Yeah. And I don't want that. It's gonna happen. Trust me, we make a lot of jeans. Sometimes we're gonna make some impulse purchases every now and then. There's gonna be something, and we want to try to avoid that, right? I want you to enjoy the products that you have. right? So, I bought these jeans. They're not the right size. I bought them on sale. Like, look, we have a sale policy for a reason, but again, we try to work with you, right? If it's on sale, look, we ultimately we want to work with you. I'm not just saying that we're going to take every return from every situation, but maybe if we can find a way to work with you, we're going to find a way to work with you. Okay, so we just want to keep customers happy. But yeah, if you talk to us like people, normal, you're going to get the same. You're going to get great treatment. If you talk to us like maniacs, we're going to do our best to help you out. And if you threaten us, then we don't answer you.
Yeah.
Threats are the actual, like, you will get no response.
Yeah.
I've made that, like, at one point we tried to engage with people and try to, like, bring them down. There's no bringing you down. If there's a threat involved, anything. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do... See you later. Yeah. Go do it. Go.
Yeah.
You're gonna write a nasty review? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go and write it. I will not help you. You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's funny because customers think that they have so much power because they have the power to write it on the internet. And it's like, yeah, but we also have a lot of customers who are happy with our business and just,
My favorite is when they write their complaint and then like they might write it on a forum or something. And then the rest of the forum people roast them for like what they just did. Like,
exactly.
It's like my jeans faded. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, you went to a Raw Denim forum. I don't know. It's like sometimes the complaint is so off base and they think they're so right. So right, in fact, to threaten us with whatever action they're going to take. I'm going to sue you. I'm like, go ahead.
Yes.
Go. Just send. Can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. And like I'm like you better respond to me so I can send all this whatever to my lawyer. I'm like, no. Why would I provide you with any like? If you think I committed some kind of crime, okay?
Why would you trust us?
Yeah. Why am I gonna continue to converse with you and provide you with some more evidence for your lawyer to sift through? Go and send your lawyer all of our communications up until it's over. We're done. We're done. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we're like we're not the business that just
Yeah.
We got all of it covered.
Yeah.
If there's anything that you think is unfair, it's disclosed. You agree to it. You didn't have to buy it from us. We got it covered.
Yeah,
so
lawyer up, boys.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna call the Better Business Bureau. I'm like,
all right.
Okay, what are they gonna do? They're gonna come at me with their Better Business Bureau task force and lock up Tate and Yoko. Like, guys, it's just not it just doesn't work that way. Okay.
No.
Junior writes, stupidity on the internet is an unlimited resource. It's true.
And limited resource of entertainment a lot of the times.
Sometimes, look, there's the usual amount of like upset customer, and then there's nuclear level, and then there's I don't know how to deal this is beyond the pale.
There's also I don't want to make fun of certain people, but it's like it is true when we're dealing with a lot of volume of customer service. Some of them, it's just so funny. When it's really out of the norm, excessive craziness. We just it's this is great. This is amazing.
Sometimes.
We have a folder for a funny
the worst emails ever.
Yeah, worst and also best because we want to look back on it.
Sometimes, drama really unfolds in these email chains. You're dealing with a customer, and I'm gonna say it. I mean, it just happens. Sometimes there are some lonely hearts out there that everybody who's been in customer service knows this. And then there are just some people who just want your attention, right? You know, there's one thing is, you know, we have community here, we chat, like, you know, this is we hang out, you know, we're
friends.
We're friends. But then there's people who are they're reaching out, and you know, obviously you try to treat everybody nicely, but sometimes the drama and some of these things goes like, I'm like, we're writing a soap opera here. And anyhow, there's some cases like that. Some things that are maybe unbelievable, I think, because they want to keep the friendship alive. I can't get too deep into some of those. Anyways, they're nice people, but
All right. Well,
yeah.
I mean,
Anyhow.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, like this is hard to amalgamate because this was a very specific person. I don't want to nail. Anyhow, all I can say is that this customer service interaction over a pair of jeans that didn't fit took like 2.5 years to rectify, because not because like I couldn't send them a replacement, just because tragedy seemed to keep unfolding every time. Like I was trying to initiate the return, I'm like, could you just send the jeans back and then we'll give you a credit and you could just buy whatever you want? And just, you know, I guess that would have ended the interaction, but it was like, oh, I was in a coma for...
Right,
I'm not.
like,
this person wasn't in a coma. I'm just saying. I'm making this part up.
Like every time you think this conversation's concluded, it got like resurrected over and over again.
Bingo. It was just like, oh, I got hit by a car. Both my legs broken, and I couldn't. I lost the use of my eyes.
It's not funny, but yeah.
Right, and I'm like, that's terrible. I hope you're feeling well, but we're ready to do that exchange whenever you can. Here's the shipping label. Just maybe. Somebody could send those jeans. Oh, my house burnt down, but luckily the jeans were in the trunk of my car. They're fine.
Yes.
Like, got it. Anyhow.
Yeah.
Joey Decay writes, I want to go into a coma. You do not want to go into a coma. You stay alert.
Maybe food coma.
Stay alert and stay safe. If anyone is Canadian and of a certain age, let me know if you understand that reference.
Was it one of those highway signs?
No, that's stay alive.
No. Arrive
alive, don't drink and drive. Yeah. Arrive alive, don't drink and drive. Stay alert, stay safe. Yeah, so... Kenny Ingram writes, Tate Yoko has a 4.5 star rating on Google. You guys should be proud of that. I'm proud to have contributed to that. Well, thank you very much for writing a positive review for us. Yeah, Tate Yoko's got very high marks. Naked Famous Denim NYC also has very, very high marks. You know, I think we do our best to give you the best experience possible. It's not always going to be the best for everybody. Sometimes we slip up. It happens, you know. And when it does, I do read those Google reviews all the time, and something seems out of the ordinary, I will address it, right? You know, sometimes people are like 4 stars, I like the jeans, you know, service was fine, jeans came reasonable amount of time. You know, not everyone is very, I find in the West, if everything went according to plan, 5 stars. But sometimes people are like, no, 5 stars is like an Olympic 10. You know what I mean? It's like, that is reserved for absolute perfection, right? So there is no, you know, like in the Olympics, you don't hand out 10s. You get 9 8s, you get 9 5s, you get 8 8s. Those are high marks. But a 10, that is godland. So anyways, not everybody is so... You know,
but I also think that like most of the time, like, you know, your daily experience, you don't rate every single things all the time. Like, you know, a lot of the times like businesses get stuck with like horrible rating because only people who rate them are the people who had bad experience. People who had fine experience sometimes just don't even think of leaving a review. So I think having a 4.5 stars is I think it's a like testament to like how good the community is.
Yeah.
Everybody's just like contributing, even though they did, I'm sure the experience was fine, or like even if it's good, like it wasn't like you took the time of your day to rate us highly. So I think we should really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And we do.
So I knew BD would know it because BD is the producer after all. Bert and Gert were...
Bert and Gert.
Stay alert and stay safe. Bert and Gert were these two little characters.
That's so cute.
Canadian PSA. So like they would teach us about, safety, stay away from drugs, stay away from fires, don't go into random vans. So these two, stay alert, stay safe, Bert and Gert.
Is it a TV show?
They would have these little commercials in between our cartoons featuring these characters. So that's it. Stay alert, stay safe, Bert and Gert. You can look on YouTube for Canadian PSA, public service announcement for Bert and Gert.
Those names don't match these cute buddies.
Maybe not. But yeah, there you go. Nice
like
little
the font.
great font.
Yeah.
Very 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
Very 80s, 90s. BD writes safety ambassadors. They were safety ambassadors. They made sure that little BD and little Bahzad made it to adulthood.
And you did.
And we did. Look at that. Thanks, Bert. Thanks, Gert. You guys did it. Okay. Chase Franson writes, customers sometimes don't realize the volume of emails, so what might come across as tense and rude is just workers trying to get it done quick and efficient. Yep, certainly. And obviously, our tone is important. Sometimes, look, there are a lot of emails that are the same email, right? There's a lot of questions that are the same questions. So we have, they're pre-written answers. Certain things are just, I cannot write you a personal message to certain answers, certain questions.
If
right?
you're writing the same things anyways,
Yeah.
we might as well save that and reuse that because, obviously we're a small team.
I'm wear this size and this brand. What size should I wear in Naked and Famous?
Yeah, that's a very
that
common
is
one.
that is like 50% of the questions.
Yeah, or I'm a size whatever. And it's like, how do you know that? Which brand? Like, what are you talking about?
And then our answer is, here's the measurement guide, here's how to use it, here's the video, here's the blog post, here's photos. Follow this and you will be good. Yeah. And like most, you send that as it's not an auto response. We have to read the email and then, there's like replies. There's pre-written replies that we have saved and that can be applied. That's how that works. But if it feels a little impersonal, that's because it might be a general question. Or, hey, sometimes, again, Monday morning, there's a lot of emails to get through. Maybe they didn't read through the entire email. They saw part one of the question. They sent the auto response. They sent it your way. And, hey, why didn't you answer part two? You can respond and, sorry.
Yeah.
And we'll
No, there's definitely room for improvement.
Yeah.
And then we don't mean to do that, but sometimes it does happen. So don't take it so personally, I guess.
We're trying, and we're always going to do better. Do better. Chris Griffin writes, Snowy wants some beans about the fall winter 24 collection. Video out soon. The video will come out in July. So not that long, but a little.
Not
tomorrow. So in the meantime, while we are pretty much done for spring summer releases, the MIJ was the final release of the season. We're going to hit you up with more of This Week at Tate Yoko content and fade reviews. We've got a lot of fade reviews coming up. The last This Week at Tate Yoko, Garrett teased some really fantastic jeans that we got from a member of the community. So we're going to have some very nice fade reviews coming very soon. And then just on our end, we are just doing a lot of fall winter 24 prep, getting the websites ready. Garrett's doing a lot of product photography right now. everything's just getting lined up for the fall. We're going to start showing spring 25 next month. This time next month, we will be in Paris. So we'll be showing some of that off, and more fall previews, spring previews will be coming soon. I actually don't have any of the fall samples here, but we had to make room, so I had to pack up all the spring stuff, sending some of that back out to Canada this week, and then we'll get some new goodies to show off in the next little while. But of course, we can talk about it.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny because I think from the last fall to this spring, from the last spring, I don't know, from the last transition, from the fall to spring, I think, it was kind of like, like up until like the week or two before we start the spring, we had like fall releases coming, and so like it was just, or JoJo, I think it was also part of that. But anyways, it's like it was always, but usually
last fall I feel was kind of the last of our catch up from COVID. Yeah.
So now we caught up, so back to normal, where like we release a bunch of new things in the first 3-4 months of the season, and then after that we get like a little bit of a break from every week release.
Yeah.
Until the next season starts.
Fall, I feel like releases we're gonna start, I would say, pretty early, probably like late July, early August will be the first releases, and then it's gonna run into November.
Fall usually has a bigger
a bigger
lineup.
window.
We have the Halloween stuff and all that stuff.
So there's a lot of good stuff coming in the fall, and the video is coming up soon. So a little more patience, but you'll get your.
But now is the time for like your wallets to kind of take a break.
Until CanAmerica Day sale, which will be happening at the end of June and into July. So celebrating Canada and America together. Our nations are great. Together our nations are great again under God. Is that how it goes?
I don't know. I do not know.
Whatever it is, our friendship is unbreakable. It's a bond that is literally unbreakable because we share a same landmass, and you're not gonna split that up. No way, no how.
I mean, it's kind of a little bit split in the way that there is a border, but
it's the stupidest border ever. They should get rid of that border. You know.
It's funny. I did not know about, like, I mean, because I grew up in Japan where like the border is
the
clear,
ocean.
like it's just there's no question about it. But I never really thought about how the border between America and Canada worked.
Yeah.
And like one day, like I just randomly learned that like there's just like just the ditch, like some
not even a ditch in some places where it's like 2 meters of just like we literally just drew a border out where it's like all the trees are just cut down here.
Exactly, but I also think that like it's one thing to have a border that's like kind of, I mean, it's there. Technically, they know where it is, but like nobody knows. Yeah. But like there's things like they're marking it.
There are literally houses. There are cities, and like the street, the road is the border where it's like if you cross the road.
Yeah.
That's
that
America.
Person over there is living in America. Yeah. I'm living here in Canada. If I cross the border, like
there's no fence. There's nothing.
Yeah.
It's literally the road that you're driving. If you took the wrong turn, you illegally entered the country. And
I'm sure you can just cross the street and come back most of the time, no problem.
No.
No.
No, you do that, they're gonna arrest you.
But like, is it monitored?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then that's
I mean, technically it's modern. I'm sure they don't get everybody, but you do not do that. It is a very illegal thing. And it's like, it's wrong.
Like you would see this neighbor like every day, but you can never get to speak to them.
Well, you could literally go up into the middle of the road and talk to one another, but if one of you cross the line,
how does that work? Because if it's like you have two-way on one side and two-way on the other, because you can't just come back like, oh, I forgot, you drive off and then, oh, I forgot I need to go back and get my wallet or whatever. Like,
there have been times where people have accidentally jogged, like they're in the woods and they jogged across the border, and they arrest them and they hold them. Like, it's bad. Anyways, get rid of the border. Canada, America, we should become one country, and that's my. When I'm president of Canada, that's what I'm gonna run on. Joining.
I mean, it's way more beneficial for Canada to join America.
Let's do it, everybody. Let's become CanAmerica. And
I don't know if America wants Canada.
Yes, they do. They love us. We're nice people. And we provide them with we are the #1 trading partner with America.
Also, global warming is expanding the livable areas of Canada.
Come on up. We'll love it. You're going to love it. You're going to love New Hollywood, which will be located in the glorious and luxurious city of Swift Current, Saskatchewan. That'll be the new hometown of Hollywood. Hollywood North, they'll call it. Not Toronto.
North
Hollywood. It's going to be wonderful. Preston Newman says, no thanks, I'll stay Canadian. Hey, you know what? You can stay Canadian, but we'll be one. Can-American. We already speak...
Canada could be like just a region in America.
Yeah. Gabriel Fisher, we love Canada. I love Canada, and I love America. And I think together we will form a bond even stronger. And let's get rid of borders. Let's all just be one people.
It just seems like it's a lot of work to,
Is it a lot of work? We speak the same language.
No. It's a lot of work to maintain that border.
It's a lot of work to maintain that border.
Very long stretch of lines.
Right. Most
of the civilization just, don't... Like, it's like there's a lot of parts that nobody cares about.
As far as trade is concerned, like if you're a farmer and don't you want your products to be able to go into America easier? Now, with the border, you've got all this paperwork. Just ship it out.
I'm sure Canadians
ship it up.
That to happen. Maybe not so much the other way around, but
yeah. So let's free it up. Anyhow,
interesting. Guys, interesting talk.
When I start running to be the dear leader of Canada, just remember. It won't be free jeans for everybody, but it will be legally mandated that
you own a pair of blue jeans.
No, I don't really like that. It's too enforceful. I will strongly suggest that I want to enforce like a national dress. Not enforce it, but I want to encourage, like, this is what we do. This is how we wear clothes. This is what we wear. So Bahzad for president. I will run for president of Canada, and I will form a separate, and like my government is gonna. That's the whole thing, right? There's the existing government structure,
with the prime minister,
right?
And all.
And I'm gonna say no. Yeah. That entire system, you're voting for that. You guys can have all your parties, whatever. When you vote for me, you're voting for a new way, a new system.
Yeah, I mean, the countries with president and prime minister, like that works like that, right? Like
I don't think so. I think they are, the president might be like the president, the prime minister might be like the vice president or something.
I see.
There's not like two competing governments, right?
Interesting.
I would.
I thought it was like a separate system, like not competing, but like.
Chris Griffin writes NWO for life. That's right. This is
Salvage Foundation.
Salvage Foundation for life. NWO for life. When I was a kid, I did for life for NWO, so I'm in it.
Okay.
Black and white original,
out,
right?
Yeah.
Wolfpack together. We'll two sweet each other all the time. A new denim flag to hang outside of Parliament. It'll just be a blue denim. No, other colors. No symbols. It'll just be a beautiful denim, right? Mm-hmm. Selvage on the edge, and it'll fade, and that faded blue flag is representative of our nation. That things change. It's evolving. It gets more beautiful. Sometimes it gets a little ugly, but that's life, and it's just a wonderful
And it will be, a lot of the times, it will be the smallest flag because we can't make it bigger.
Right. Right. Selvedge only comes this size. And
so yeah.
Guys, isn't this wonderful? So when I'm running, please support me, and we'll make this world, North America, one nation under jeans for liberty and justice for all. There you go. That's one day, man. You know what's gonna happen one day? In world history class, they're gonna play this bit of the live stream, and they're gonna say that this was the moment that world peace was unfurled on the world.
Only a few people watching live.
You guys,
made history.
You made history. This is it. It's happening right now. So there you go, everybody. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make a denim nation, a denim nation, and we'll have Janet Jackson run the rhythm nation, and together we'll boogie down. Very good. Okay, Sheng Style. How about President Bahzad clean up the clothing manufacturing industry and stop all the sweatshops? How would I do it? Well, how would you do it? Freedom is the way. Free markets is the way to achieve that. When you have people who have options in terms of where they can work, then you're going to clean up the industry even better. So allowing more businesses to flourish. More businesses means there's competition for workers. As workers, more competition for the workers means they have options. They have options in terms of their pay. If they start making more money, that means there's probably less likely a chance for their children to find themselves in these types of situations, or poor people in these types of situations that are bad factories, because the more factories you have, people are going to compete for that workforce. You're going to have better factories coming up as a result of that. That's how I would do that. I would open up the ability for people to run businesses, and by increasing competition in manufacturing, by just allowing that to happen, you will weed out naturally poor working environments. You're never going to get rid of any bad things are going to happen. My aim is not utopia. It is just for things to naturally improve on their own. What do you think?
I think you're being very optimistic. I don't think letting everybody do whatever they want is going to be the best form of, industry that you can make. I honestly don't believe that. Some regulations are important, in my opinion. But
sure, environmental regulations, I can see things like that where you're not going to be able to destroy the environment that you're in. But I think allowing and creating opportunities for businesses to flourish, that will, and especially in manufacturing, that will create competition, and competition itself will drive innovation. It drives better working conditions, and will eventually weed out the poor working conditions.
The balance is important in the way that you need to make sure that we don't take advantage of the weak in the global.
Well, I'm gonna say that people who are in bad conditions, we in the West come from at this current time in history, we come from a very advantageous position to look at other countries, because we have gone through all the things that they are going through. There was a time when, kids worked in factories and, working conditions weren't great. And we see that happening in other places, and you think, well, why why should that still happen today? And it's like, well, we had the opportunity to work the system out in our countries, and yeah, by having more competition, by having more opportunity, we got rid of a lot of the jobs that perhaps we don't see as valuable anymore. But in other places, they still don't have the types of opportunities that we have in the West to make the kinds of money. And sometimes those poor paying and maybe even poor paying jobs or working conditions aren't great, but you also have to consider they're not great in comparison to what, right? A lot of people, especially in poorer countries, maybe their other opportunities are even worse. So they see the factory job that we look at as a bad job or a bad condition as way better than some of the alternatives that they have. So by allowing their industries to grow, if, making clothes is a profitable business in that area, then more factories will start to open because they're going to see the opportunity to make money there. And of course, because labor is, finite, you have a certain amount of people who can work. These companies, these businesses they're gonna fight for that workforce. So, well, we got air conditioning. Well, you got air conditioning. Well, we've got air conditioning and breaks and holidays. And so over time, as the workers will shift from one beneficial place to the next, the environment and the conditions that are acceptable for that industry will come together. And so I think that encouraging manufacturing, encouraging what's the word I'm thinking of? Freedom of, business opportunity will weed out the bad players. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm not, it's not a fully formed opinion there. It's just a lot of ideas.
There's a difference between like America back in the days where everybody was working in factories versus now certain countries are like that, but with America being on the map, like what I mean, like we didn't have that, or like not we, but like it's one thing to have like just everybody come from here to here, but it's another to have somebody already here taking an advantage of somebody here. So
yeah,
it's a more complicated issue. I think it's really interesting because it's very like rare to have this level of like hand operated. Obviously we're using sewing machines to sew the things, but it's still majorly like people working. And everything else, other aspects of our society, like move on to like automated things, machines making machines and machine making other things and all that stuff. So apparel is one of the last things where like we're just still people, working in the factory, and mm-hmm. it's a very interesting discussion. It could go on. And
it can go on and on. There's this is a difficult. It's not a difficult conversation. It's just there's a lot of avenues that this conversation goes down. I think
that's what makes the apparel still very like, it's just we don't want to lose the ability to do something with our hands. So I think keeping that like just culture of still making things. It's better to make with people. In terms of apparel, like it's more efficient to have people sit there and operate machines rather than invent a robot.
And I have to also say that transparency is another big thing that will help improve conditions for everything, because the more transparent you are,
100%.
then you can't hide the stuff, right?
100%.
And so as consumers, I'm sure if there was a company that was making things in the most inappropriate ways possible, and once it's out there, you're gonna feel.
Yeah.
Some people could care less. There's no question about that. Again, I'm not advocating for utopia. Utopia is not for this world. It's not gonna happen. There's gonna be bad players. How do you weed out the bad players? transparency and freedom, I think that does
100%.
the best thing.
Yeah, like educating customers, consumers, and
Yeah.
consumers demanding like
Better
better
and-
things.
right.
For sure is going to be the way, that we
Yeah.
improve as an industry for
Like,
sure.
when there was word of, unscrupulous cotton in the industry. Well, I will tell you right away that when people were hearing, oh, there's still, people being treated like that, picking cotton, and, in this era, believe me when I say that the industry very quickly was like, we're not buying cotton from this country anymore. Even the cheap companies were like, no, we're not going to be associated with that. So that type of transparency works way faster than regulation is going to say. When consumers as a whole are like, we don't support this type of product, we don't support this type of industry, we don't support, products being made this way, things change like that. Remember, especially like on our scale, of course, we're going to use fine products. But on the large scale, those guys are always trying to cut costs and, this and that. But at the end of the day, ultimately, their shareholder is, what they feel that they need to impress. And if the shareholder feels that, hey, if we're making a product that the consumer doesn't want to buy, well, I'm not going to invest in this company. So even in that respect, it keeps things in line in a certain way. Again, it's not perfect, but the more transparent we can be about how things are made, where they come from, and that, again, we make in Canada, we're very proud of what we do, and I don't want to crap on, there are poor countries that make things for very cheap, and I don't want to take away from like the skill that the people who make those products have, right? Those are skilled laborers too, right? Sometimes they are more skilled than others. There's no question about that. But, sometimes we can look at a product and say, oh, it's made in this country, and so therefore not good. I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I do like the idea of make it where you're from, support your local industries, but not everything's going to be that way. Not always, right?
I mean, it's just like the skills that people have, or like the trainings that people have available to them is very different depending on where you are. Like, if, there are certain operations that we can't do in Canada anymore because there's nobody who's trained for that, or machinery doesn't exist or whatever. The same thing with like a lot of handwork from like India, like they can do amazing
handwork
things,
yeah.
and those are not something you can just bring it to America and do it. Like you can't just do that. So it's I mean, there are different skill sets. It's like a village where some guy is a plumber, and the other guy is just a carpenter.
Yeah.
And then we all have to kind of get together and then help each other out.
But also, as more, say, you take a look at the handicrafts that they can do in India and things like that. The more, like, maybe for a time it wasn't seen as maybe there wasn't a lot of value placed in that type of work, right? But the more demand
people are educated.
Once they learn about how beautiful some of these things are done and how it's made, then the demand for it grows. And as demand for it grows, again, in their own towns, their own places, these more industry will pop up, and when more industry pops up, then they start to prop up the workforce a little bit more there as well. So it may not be as inexpensive, as it was, but there might be more of it for all of us to enjoy as well. So
100%. So you don't necessarily stick with your local businesses. I think globally we can all, give what we got and just appreciate each other's skill sets and whatever that is. I think that's a good world.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Kenny Ingram, this is all theoretical. Okay, perhaps. But
Not really. I think it's real. A lot of it is real. We're all contributing to that.
Yeah. Right. So, anyhow, again, this is not...
It's theoretical in a way that, like, Bahzad doesn't have the power to change, change the law or how the trades are done.
Yeah.
But, and I think, and in terms of, like, us having a little power over, us being in the industry, also you guys being consumers, like, I think it's not just theoretical, it's real.
Cathedral Ring, much easier to say I'm not buying clothing for more reasons, but it's not a real option for most with food. Cocoa and coffee are prime examples. Yes and no. But again, things don't change with the snap of a finger. It takes time. And the more you know about where your food comes from, because look, clothing has been, I would say that over the last 20 years, the amount that you know about where your apparel comes from has gone from nothing percent to who's sewing the garment. Who's planting the seed. Like it's starting to get there. It takes time. And food is starting to see more and more of that. Like there's a lot more farm to table, buy from your local, this and that. But even coffee and chocolate. There's a lot of brands. There's a lot of companies that are saying, this is single origin. This is coming from this coffee field. We're paying these people like that. Coffee, even more than chocolate. The coffee industry is so good and getting better at this. Of course, there's these huge companies that aren't playing into that yet. But I think it's just a matter of time because when the consumer is smarter, they demand better. And there's a lot of education happening in the coffee world.
I think in the food industry, it's a little bit easier, to be fair. Like when something like that movement happens, it can happen quick because at the end of the day, you're consuming coffee beans like exactly, not exactly how it is off the tree, but it is the same thing that you're consuming. It's a little bit more direct, whereas in apparel, there's from cotton to becoming this, it's so many layers of the different hands. Not everything, and especially like coffee, you can easily do like from a seed to like like harvesting to like roasting and then whatever all those things that I don't know happens in coffee production that can be done in smaller scale. Whereas in the apparel world, you can't just have a small scale like spinning mill. Like you can't it's just like that doesn't make sense in business sense. So I think in the apparel world, the changes are slower, but it is happening. Whereas like the food changes happening quickly, and I think we can get to a much better place. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously like clothing is a little bit more specialized than food.
But even in chocolate, like I don't know if you guys know about this brand, Tony's, but like number one, they make great chocolate.
And they collaborated with Ben and Jerry's.
Right. But they're, even on the back, Ben and Jerry's has joined our mission to end exploitation in chocolate. This is a chocolate brand that is very, like, in the, let's make chocolate fair type of world. And they, number one, they make a really great product, a lot of great flavors. Packaging is amazing. And again, this is just about transparency. Transparency really opens up the world to fair and better, because the more you know about a product, the less you will support a product that isn't made as well. And so again, we're not going to achieve utopia. The world isn't going to be perfect. There's going to be bad players and things like that. It's going to happen. But the point is for us to move forward, and definitely transparency is going to do that. I don't think that's theory at all. That is happening in real time. And with the internet, with even people in the poorest countries, everyone's got a smartphone now. Everyone has more access to more information than they've ever had in their entire lifetime. And this is all for the good. I'm very positive on the on the future being a much better place. And information is absolutely key to that. Cathedral Ring, Ben and Jerry's candy bar, I'm all in. Yeah, go find it.
I haven't tried it. Yeah.
But Tony's, every time I like, you can't find these everywhere in Japan, but every time we see them, we get them. But I find them in at the duty free whenever we're in Europe.
Airport.
And
they have those, because like
they have a
these
variety
bars
pack.
are humongous.
Yeah.
Like one flavor,
Yeah.
but they have the little packs
Yeah.
of like little different flavors.
Yeah.
So that's how we.
They're
know
really
that
good.
They're good.
Yeah. Kenny Ingram, you're way more optimistic than a lot of us. Yep, I am. I think I am. There's a lot of doom and gloom out there in the world, and there's certainly a lot of doom and gloom to be concerned with.
100%. But that's not to say, like, even in our lifetime, even in our like professional careers, we're seeing difference.
Yeah.
And that's not just theoretical. I think it's just we are seeing it right in front of us. So I think there's a reason for us to be optimistic about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brain writes, the type of transparency and choice is definitely a luxury and not something most can consider, but can't be totally discounted. Appreciate where you can, make educated decisions, and vote with your dollars. Yeah, we're not always, not everyone is gonna. No one's a saint. No one's gonna be perfect with their purchasing. Not everyone's gonna look deep into everything that they buy. Sometimes the cheap, the cheap shoes are. Sometimes we need cheap shoes.
And again,
right?
like you said earlier, like there's nothing bad about outsourcing jobs to a country where it get for whatever that you like use every day, or something that's just can't you can't spend a lot of money on everything you have, right? Like there's certain level of like it needs to be cost efficient. And when that's the case, then there's nothing wrong about outsourcing labor so that it can get made cheaper overseas and is sent here. I think the problem is when we take advantage of the situation.
Yeah. Right. When a company cuts a lot of corners to make product and sell it for, I will say it, like, in Canada, there was a company that was making product in a very poor country, and the working conditions were absolutely terrible. And they have this peachy keen look to their brand. I'm not going to name because when it comes to customers threatening to sue us, that's one thing. But when it comes to big evil corporations threatening to sue
they have the power.
They have the power. So I'm not gonna disparage any particular company, but when a big company with a peachy keen look and that type of messaging is out there, and their products are being made in horrendous conditions when they don't have to be, right? You certainly have the power to make in better places or ensure that the places that your products are being made, even in poorer countries, are being made in better conditions than that. And that's I think that's important. If your executives don't do a walking, maybe not your executives, but your production managers and whatever, they do the walking tour of the factory and they're like, this is acceptable. Like there's a mistake in the production line somewhere. And like even then, it's like those bad factories, if they start seeing, hey, we just lost out on giant production orders because our factory wasn't up to standard, well, we better get our factory up to standard so that we can start making real money, right? Because the real big money in production is going to come from the giant companies, the companies that are saying, we're going to make 1 million shirts. That's a big order. That's where the money is. Like, we're independent brand. We don't hit the numbers that a Uniqlo does. We don't hit the numbers that a single Uniqlo location does. That's just not what we do. we make a very specific product for a very specific customer group. But the factories, they want big orders because they want to make money. They want to keep their employees employed. So when you're a big company, you can swing it around a little bit. And the more we teach customers, you ultimately, maybe you'll spread some of that information to your friends, or maybe even when you shop at those other things, you will demand more. You put it back, and customers, there's surveys, and why don't you buy this? They're learning. These guys have teams, designed to figure out the shopping patterns, behaviors of their customers. So demand better from everybody, and you will quickly see that. Maybe not quickly. Things take time, but again, over time, you will see mega improvements. And just like, let me say, after World War II, made in Japan didn't mean what made in Japan means today. Made in Japan meant cheap. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Even into the 70s and 80s, when people were buying, there was a whole hubbub about, Japanese-made cars, all these cheap little cars. Well, they were cheap, but through their experience of making cheap and improving and improving and improving, they got to become, well, those Japanese cars are really good, and they're still cheap, right? Well, in comparison, they're very well priced, right? And so it took time to go from the sweatshop to the place that we're at. Korea is also another place. Korea used to be the place where you'd buy cheap electronics. That was where, if you couldn't afford the made in Japan electronics that got to be so good, well, you went to Korea. And now Korea is, well, they make all the best TVs. They make all the best, consumer, they're all coming from Korea, because Korea used to make all the cheap. Now they make all the best because they had that time to develop that experience. So
yeah. And then there's a lot of value in being able to manufacture something. It's like, Japan still holds on to it pretty well. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we like about, making things in Japan, is that, they're not sacrificing the, just because they're Japan is one of the, developed countries now. It's very wealthy country. But they didn't really let go of that, manufacturing aspects of it. And I think that's a strength. It's a small country, but I think we were still relevant because we didn't let go of, ability to make things. And I think that's important. Yeah. And I hope that we can do the same for North America.
Yeah. Kenny Ingram. Okay, now explain China. Easy. Very easy. Communism, controlled economy. That's China. There you go. There was a city in Japan named USA, so that they can put "Made in USA" on stuff. I don't believe that at all, because you can't. You cannot do that. You
cannot do that. You can't in Japan. You can't even say your a label inside. Yeah. You can't even say 100% organic cotton. That's what I learned recently, that you cannot, even if it's certified organic, you cannot say that it's made of organic cotton. You have to say it's made of cotton. Yeah. It's the same thing with countries. You have to use the name of the country. Whoever does, sometimes they do things
made in EU.
Yeah, it's actually not proper. I don't know about you. I'm sure they have different rules there, but in the global standard, you have to name the country, the official name of the country. You can't even just say made in the best country ever or whatever.
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah. It's I think that's just some kind of weird rumor that flew up. I would say that China is not so silly to do that, or made in USA, Japan. Now, I would hear, China would, have a place made, they would name a town after this, and kind of like the same idea here. Yeah. But no, it doesn't. China, I would say, is, some of those business people are smart enough that they're we'll just make a factory in Italy, and then move all of our employees there.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, too.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, look, this is definitely, it's relevant in our, world of conversation, no doubt. But this is a bigger topic than I'm going to be able to handle.
Yeah,
with
but that's a good example of regulation being helpful to consumers. It's not all bad. I think certain regulations are important so that consumers don't have to spend hours trying to figure out where things are made. So I think that's great. One thing that bothers me the most, sorry to just, extend, but online stores, sometimes you put a product on online store and they don't show the tag where it says where it's made, and they don't put that information on the product page. And that has to be against the rules. I don't know the regulations, but they should put that on there, because if you're shopping in person, you should be able to, find where it's made, and, that doesn't exist online at the same level, which bothers me so much.
Yeah.
It's you have to be...
Yeah, it's really not fair, because in store, you cannot sell a product in a store without that label. Even washing instructions and all that. That's all. It all has to be there.
Yeah.
Composition, washing instructions, and
manufacturing country.
Origin. Yeah, country of origin. So that all has to be there. But online, it doesn't. We certainly put it on all of our products because we're certainly proud to do that. And I can understand that some websites. We've dealt with some of the big box stores, and they're like, when you're filling out forms for them for online product setup forms, their options are very limited, where it's is this made in USA? No? Okay, imported. They only have 2 options. It's yeah, but made in Canada and made in France versus made somewhere else, they're all
made in Honduras.
Yeah, it's not the same bingo. So, I find that, not that I'm not a regulation guy. I'm more of a educate the customer demands it kind of person. That said, I do find it a little annoying that retailers don't put that information on the website. Cathedral Ring writes, I think wrapped up, it's safe to say that those buying raw denim probably care about the ethics behind almost everything they buy. We are buying 25-pound pairs of socks. There's no question about it that this community is far more educated about the products that they buy. They care about it. You guys care about it to a degree that you watch a 2-hour live stream about us talking about jeans and where they're made. Now, that is not the average consumer doesn't do that. The average consumer, if they get a little hit on Instagram or read a magazine about how something, that's their content. But we are the devoted community. We care about where things are made, how they're made, who's making it, and we appreciate all that goes into it, right? I'm sure we have all had these interactions where, you talk to a normie about maybe your jeans or your socks or something, and they're like, oh, cool. Jeans, you say, huh? Why are your jeans dirty? Well, no, they're actually freshly washed, but you see, these fades and creases, these happen because of, so you wore your jeans out? It's...
Yeah, no, it's definitely a hobby, but I believe that people like us can make a little minor, perhaps minor, but for some people a big change for the better.
Yeah, Kenny Ingram, made in Canada is probably the number one most important thing to me. Absolutely. Look, I always support your local economies, support your friends, support the people that you know. Right, I love made in Canada. I don't, I find it annoying that I find it annoying that we're the only ones in Canada, on a factory level, making jeans. That's really, to me, it's a shame. It's a shame of the nation, in fact, that it has come to this. Right,
Yeah, and nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
It's
nobody,
the shame. I think
like,
that's the real shame.
We care.
Yes.
But as a whole, like, nobody's thinking,
No.
Canadian, like, the Canadian tuxedo, that's ours. And nobody's like, to me, it's like Japan being like, we don't make kimonos anymore. No, it's all made in China, right? Like, it's like China could probably make them. They have the silk and you know, they have a history of, you know, this, you know, even this type of garment making. Sure. But to lose our national dress, what I couldn't. It's like if I don't know, like if America stopped, not that anyone can stop Americans from making apple pie or Coca-Cola, but like, you know what I mean? Although that Mexican Coke is pretty good. But you know what I mean? It is such a part of our heritage, and for it to just, there's just one little brand left, and nobody talks about how we lose it. Nobody in the corporate press talks about how we never get mainstream coverage in Canada. Never. Like, it's so rare that, like, we're never on the news.
Yeah.
We're like any of our like fashion programs or whatever. Like, it's just, it never happened.
Or like the biggest.
I'm being hyperbolic
retailers,
when I say never, because there's been hits here and there.
Yeah, but the biggest retailers of, you know, clothing in Canada doesn't care about, like, you know, if anything, they should buy our jeans, just, you know, not exclusively, but it's like, you should.
Yeah.
Because that's like a big deal. You're a Canadian retailer. You should be proud to buy things that are still made in Canada today.
One time there was a Canadian retailer, and they had these commercials about, we sell the toughest jeans in Canada. We're you want to buy tough jeans, you buy them from us. And I had an email for the buyer there, and I'm like, saw your commercial, and you're number one, you don't, right? Number two, you could, and you could if you made them with us in Canada, and then you can have a real Canadian story here, right? Like, obviously, I didn't send the email as maybe cutty as that was a little catty way I said it in a very nice way, right? Obviously, I want to sell him some jeans, but I'm like, you have the power, you have the volume that we could make you a very competitively priced product made in Canada, and that just, again, maybe the more we talk about these kind of things, the more the demand will happen, but that's
you gotta start somewhere.
Gotta start somewhere. At the very least, Canada, they're still, you know, there are other industries that Canada is very good at, and they continue them. But, you know, jeans. This is our clothes. This is what we wear. What can I say? Brain 12ish. Blame Canada. Blame Canada. Kenny Ingram. Probably this retailer's stuff. You might be right. BD, how many times I've said to people that you're made in Canada and that it matters to me is wild. I'm not about to berate their choices. Just trying to keep helping them with the info. Yeah, you don't win people over by beating them over the head with information, but, you know,
yeah, I mean,
our jeans, or like even this chocolate bar is a perfect example. It's just a good product.
Yeah.
If you gave somebody this chocolate, they eat it, it's delicious, and they read a little bit about it on the back, they're like, oh, that, you know, now I know more, right?
Yeah.
And I like this chocolate. And so now not only am I eating a good product, I'm also, they're doing good for the world.
Yeah,
and
it's like, you know, when I buy pasta, like, you know, we tend to buy Italian-made pasta, and not because, like, you know, it's just I don't know if I can, like, overcome a taste test or anything, but it's like, okay, that's a sign of quality to me, like, and I think that's to a certain degree, it's not a blanket statement. I'm sure there's different kinds of, pasta from Italy, good and bad, and also good kind of pasta from Japan, or Canada, America, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like, sometimes you just have to have like a level of like, oh, this must, I can trust this because whatever.
Yeah.
And it would be great if Canada could be the sign of, okay, like these jeans are made in Canada, so it must be good. You know, like we just want to be that in a lot of things that we make.
Yeah. Juan Puedo, hola, ¿cómo estás, mi amigos? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. And Sebastian Pilje in the house. Good to see you here, my friend. LOL, I was about to say they coined the Canadian tuxedo. That's it. This has been a long rant. Mm-hmm. But hopefully...
It's not really a rant. It's a discussion about something that we're interested in.
Yeah, it's true. Joy Decay writes, are the pocket tees the same weight as the regular circular knit tees? Yes, we take our circular knit t-shirts that are made in Canada, by the way, and we add the pocket to it. So it's not a different t-shirt. It's the same t-shirt. Adam Brown writes, I know it's a Wonder Looper question, but any update on the hand-dyed indigo t-shirts when they might be arriving? I was actually going to write an email about this to the fans. They're scheduled for mid-June delivery.
Yes.
So they're...
Well, we said, like, on the product launch, we said end June to early July.
Yeah.
I think we can deliver in mid-June. We're on track to doing so. But
Yeah.
I just got an email from our dye house that says that, like, we just got hit... The typhoon is developing around there. So, I mean, there might be some delays, but obviously it's the Mother Nature. We can't do anything about that. So we'll see. Right. But we're on track for mid-June.
And just speaking about, I guess, transparency, dye house, guy dyeing it, he's also the guy growing the indigo in his own field here in Japan. Like, everything is happening right here. Mm-hmm. So... and we actually are sending. There's a local photographer there that we're sending out to document the whole process. So you're going to be able to see how everything is done. So yeah, it's. I think it's going to be. These t-shirts are going to be crazy. For those who don't know, are they? Where are they?
I sent it to the dye house
we sent it to the dye house. We're doing some. Tokushima hand-dyed natural indigo t-shirts with Wonder Looper. So the same people who do the hand-dyeing yarns for the Tokushima jeans that we do, the Hank-dyed jeans, the hand-dyed indigo-dyed yarns. Sometimes you see like videos on Japanese denim, and you see there's like some guy like dyeing indigo in in a vat. That's like less than 0.1% of the jeans made in this country. Like, sometimes I find it a little annoying when they make, this is Japanese denim, and they're showing the guy. I'm like, yeah, but
that's not how it was made. The machines.
Yeah. The one you're buying is not that one, right? So it's like it does come from that tradition, and like the rope dyeing is sort of a mechanical way of doing this.
Industrialized version of that, but yes. It's a little funny, but we have both in this country. Both options, and I think we are making another batch of like Tokushima hand-dyed jeans for Naked and Famous as well. So that's something to look forward to.
Start saving.
Yes, it's no joke. Those dye fees are.
Yeah, the dye fees are high, and they charge you by, it's by weight. By weight. Yeah. So how much indigo it's gonna take to dye all this. Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, it's a lot of work. I'm not saying it's a rip-off.
No. It's just when you understand how much goes into it, you understand the price, and you're like, Because every now and then, like with Naked Famous, we'll like release a Tokushima jean, and someone's like, $900 for jeans, and I'm like. Yeah, like, I get it. Like, I understand,
Yes, it's a little excessive.
Yeah.
But we do it because there are people who want it.
Yeah.
Then just leave it if you don't want it.
Yeah, right. I'm not saying you have to buy this. I'm just saying that...
Definitely not. I don't even have a pair of that.
It's like going to the fanciest steakhouse in town, right? there's the place where they have the $500 steak, and then there's the place that has the $50 steak, right?
Or $15 steak.
Right.
I think it's still pretty good too.
Right.
But
you know,
yes.
But
you want the best.
Right. That's it. Yeah. Sometimes, and yeah, it's a whole nother world. And yeah, we're not trying to convince you that these are
worth it.
Because it's worth what it takes to make it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But whether it's worth it to you is up to you.
Yeah.
Like, we're not telling you that it's worth it.
Yeah.
For most people, it probably isn't.
Yeah.
But
so we haven't fully announced this jean yet.
Yeah.
But it's in the works.
Something to look forward to in the future.
Yeah. Brain 12-ish writes, give me that Wagyu denim. That's exactly what it is. This is an A5 Wagyu denim. You know what we should call those jeans? We should just call them like the A5.
Yeah,
it's like
a little
top
confusing.
level. Yeah, I mean, anyhow, the next ones are going to go a little further even. Because the amount of natural dyes that are going to... You want to talk about it?
No. Well, wait, for the jeans?
Yeah.
You can talk about it. Are we not allowed to talk about it?
Let's do it.
Okay.
We're already running late. This is a 2 hours and 15-minute live stream. We're going. Just do it. So, natural Tokushima hand-dyed warp with a kakishibu hand-dyed weft. So we did the Tokushima kakishibu was MIJ 9, 8. Which one was it?
Natural indigo was
no. The natural right.
And then kakishibu was 11.
11. So together, beige weft, like an earth tone weft with a natural indigo warp, all hand dyed in Tokushima. Save your money.
Because the thing is, like, obviously the most expensive part of those each individual jeans were the warp.
Yeah.
And that was, I wouldn't say half, but it's it's not 100% of the yarns.
Yeah.
It's
the weft,
a little bit more than half, but So that's gonna be both. So I don't know the price wise.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how.
Yeah, we're still working it out, but it's gonna be a lot because, like Risa said, like when you do the natural indigo dyed warp, the weft is not dyed, so most of the cotton in that product is undyed cotton.
Well, maybe 40% of the cotton is undyed, and that's still that price.
Yeah. So now you've got the other half also dyed. It's gonna be a real meal. Kenny Ingram, it'll be at least 1,500. Okay, open up the pre-order now before I change my mind. We will.
No, we want to give you as much time to consider this purchase.
Give us some time here. So that's the little preview, I guess. Christopher Cologne writes, I have yet to break the $500 price on a pair of jeans. That's the most I have ever paid. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
Look, the price that we ask for our jeans, I think, is a fair price for what it is that we make. But let's not kid ourselves. It is still a very expensive pair of jeans. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna find, for next week's live stream, I'm gonna find some prices on what, Made in America jeans used to be, in the, 1920s or whatever, early times, and do the inflation calculator and see how we've kept up with that. I wonder if the price that we asked today, I'm gonna go with like a basic indigo. I'm not gonna go with anything like fancy,
right,
Yeah.
I'm
going to see how we've kept up with that.
Mm-hmm.
Have we stayed relatively the same? If it was $9 for a pair of jeans back then, is that the equivalent to $175 today? I don't know. I got to figure out what the price point was back then. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do my research. Detective Bahzad is going to find the answer.
The difference is that, like, salvage, fabric
was normal.
jeans were the only options. Now that we have options of,
wider.
like wide width denim and selvage. So I wonder how
I'll do a comparison, right? Because selvage is more, there's a premium you pay on the scarcity of that. Because the facilities are not abundant. Yeah. Like, yes. There's a cost for the
highly, trained staff and all kinds of things. So I wonder how that's affect the pricing.
Okay, I will.
We can talk about it. That can be a very long discussion.
That's going to be a good one. Okay, so that's what you guys are looking forward to next week. Mm-hmm. We're going to have the facts, the truth laid out for you, and we'll see how we're competing against our forefathers.
Mm-hmm. Investigative journalism here.
There we go. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're gonna break into snack time, and we're not gonna try the Tonys today. This will be for another time, but we do have a special chips to try.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited about this. This is up my alley, if I say so myself. Yeah. I don't think I've paid over $300, but I have way too many jeans. Yeah, that's also another thing. Like, if you spend, $150 on 10 pairs of jeans, that's a lot of money. That's maybe one ultimate MIJ.
Yeah. So, what do we have here, Risa?
It is Hokkaido exclusive Pringles in scallop butter shoyu flavor.
So soy sauce, butter, scallops, seafood flavor from Hokkaido. This was a gift from a live stream viewer who was visiting Japan. We got to hang out last week. Sebastian, good to see you. Thank you so much for this.
This would be my favorite type of flavor. But so Hokkaido is what I call a Canada of Japan. It is cold up there, but it has a lot of good seafood because it's cold. I think that they're fishing.
They got a good fishing industry up there.
Mm-hmm. So scallops are very popular, and also they have a lot of what do you call it, like dairy.
Yeah, they have a big dairy industry, cheese and milk.
So butter, a lot of butter comes from up there too. So we got the scallop from up there, butter from, the same region. It's a combination of Hokkaido flavor.
Okay, so we're going to do it. We're going to get in here. I'm going to say I'm okay with seafood. Some seafood I like more than others. I'm not really a shellfish guy. So...
Yeah. I think maybe you're not really into the texture, but the flavor it's used in a lot of broth and stuff. So the flavor itself you might actually enjoy. It smells like a cooked soy sauce.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. It smells more like soy sauce than anything right now.
All right.
Okay, so that's the chip. Typical Pringle. Japanese Pringle's smaller. Mm-hmm. It's a smaller chip, but the same shape. I don't taste the scallop.
No? I taste the scallop. I taste the seafood.
Really? Mm-hmm. Maybe because I don't eat a lot of seafood, I don't know what I'm tasting. I taste the saltiness, mostly.
That show you like a sweet
a cooked.
Cooked shoyu. I don't really taste a whole lot of butter.
I taste the butter.
Yeah?
These are all right. They're very salty.
I like it.
Which I like.
That's shoyu, soy sauce flavor is great.
Yeah, I'm gonna
try one more.
Yeah, if I didn't know there was a scallop in here, I wouldn't know. Mm-hmm. I would just think this is some kind of salty chip. That it's fine. It's a good chip. It's not. I wouldn't put it in a top tier category, but it is
very up my alley. If it was a blind test, I might even say a shrimp flavored. It's got that sea taste.
I see.
But it's not so forefront.
Right. Tofro Cobra writes, Doesn't Hokkaido also have the monkeys that hang out in the hot springs?
That is, I've seen that in Honshu, in the main island. I don't know if that exists in Hokkaido too. They might, but like the onsen that's famous for that, I've been to one that's really famous. I forgot the region, but it's in. I think it's.
If you want to see my probably one of my most favorite commercials of all time. I have favorite commercials. I like watching commercials. It's the Sony Walkman ad from 1988, and this is real. They filmed this, and it's a monkey in a hot spring listening to a Walkman, and he's just at peace. And it's such a beautiful shot. Very, very beautiful shot. And there are monkeys in the hot springs here in Japan. Not that guy, but this guy. There's a whole commercial. Look it up afterwards. Okay. You're gonna find one? Risa's gonna find one.
Yeah, I've been to this one, but this guy is actually not in the.
Oh, yeah. Risa's he's not in the water, but he's adjacent to it.
This guy is the baby that was in the water. But I mean, I didn't take a lot of pictures, but there's like a bunch of those guys just hanging out and socializing. I really like it.
Right. Okay, so Risa, what do you rank the Pringles Hokkaido?
Oh, I'm gonna
limited
go with
edition. I don't know if they're limited edition, but exclusive.
Exclusive to Hokkaido area. I'm gonna rate it like 8.0.
Really?
It's my kind of chips.
I'm going a 7. I'm going 7.3 on these ones.
Okay.
Good chip. Would eat. There's 3 cans in there, so I'm gonna partake in some more of this. Yeah, I'm like shrimp chips. I like a little bit more, but yeah, sometimes shellfish is just not my jam. But all things considered, I find that I don't taste the fishy flavor, and it doesn't seem to bother me. So there you have it. Okay. You know what? We're gonna last question. Topher Cobra is Jugo Kudani Monkey Park near Hokkaido.
No, that's in Nagano. That's the place that I've been to, and I think that's in Nagano Prefecture, if I'm not mistaken.
That's where they held the 1998 Olympic Games, Winter Olympic Games.
So Hokkaido is way up north, even from there. But I'm sure there are monkeys that hangs out in onsen there. Because I think these guys, like, now it's a tourist attraction, but I don't think these guys were, like, just put in there.
No, they're probably...
I think that naturally they're just attracted to the warm water.
Yeah. And who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't? The humans are.
Yes.
So there you guys have it. A long live stream, but I think an important one. A lot of great topics covered here. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And thanks to everybody who stayed the entire time. I know it's maybe a little different from some of the other conversations that we have. But we're going to leave it there. So we will have some research done for next week on the evolution of pricing of jeans.
I'm excited about that. That will be a very interesting topic.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. And before we all leave, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We, of course, will see you guys again next week right here on the Naked Famous Denim live stream right here on YouTube, broadcasting live 7 p.m. Eastern from Yokohama, Japan. The greatest live stream in the history of the internet. All thanks to you guys watching right now. So do something nice for yourself. Maybe get some Pringles. Good people at the Pringles Corporation might have something for you to enjoy. Have a can, share a can with somebody, and we'll see you guys next week. So, have a good one. All right. Bye guys.
Everyone.